In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to write stellar content for your course, aka how do you create your modules. Okay, everyone wants to know how to start writing the modules and how to start putting the content into your course, right? Because that's really the meat of what you're going to be teaching. That's where, where the actual teaching happens, and people many times want to jump right into creating the content before they've done a few previous steps. So we're going to talk about this, but I'm going to back you up just a minute. And we're going to talk about how you get to creating the stellar content, and that is by following my first two steps, which is to validate your course idea. You need to make sure that the topic of your course is exactly what your ideal clients are looking for, because if it's not, the best content you can write is not going to help sell your course. So there's several steps you can do in order to make sure that what you're creating isn't just something that you've decided is a really great idea, but it's exactly what your clients want and need. And that is to survey them, ask them, go out if you already have clients and ask them what are their greatest challenges, or what is the biggest issue they have with your topic. So if you are a weight loss coach and you're looking to create a course on weight loss, then you need to go out and say, what is your biggest struggle with losing weight? And it may not be what you think it is, or it may be a little bit off of what you think it is. And I find this about 90% of the time, the clients that I work with are tweaking their courses based on the feedback that they're getting. So I don't want you to miss this step, because this will make the difference between a lukewarm course and a sellout course. Okay, so once you have a topic that you know your clients want and are going to buy, the next step, and that you know your ideal client. Who is this course for? Is it for moms? Is it for teachers? Is it for authors? Is it for single women who are out of college? Like, understanding who you're targeting to will really help when you're creating the content. Because let's say you're back to that weight loss coach, you're going to be talking to a 25-year-old who needs to lose weight, a lot different than someone who's 55 years old who wants to lose weight. They may have different challenges with what they're doing. So you need to make very clear on your ideal student. And the third thing is the outcome of the course. What exactly are you going to be teaching during this course? Is it everything they ever needed to know about losing weight? Or is it how to lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks? So based on the outcome of your course also helps determine what you're going to put in your content. If it's everything they ever needed to know about running an online business, that's going to be a really big course. Or is it just about list building? Or about using Facebook ads? It's not about just you sitting there at your desk writing some super duper content, because it really depends on what your clients and your customers are looking for, who they are, and exactly what this course that you're writing is going to deliver. And based on that, then you start moving into writing out the content. So let's move into that, and I'm going to give you 2 ways that you can deliver that content. So you can, after you've done these preliminary steps, sit down and start writing out your modules. Now, what you need to realize is that you have some kind of teaching process when you're creating a course. So you're not just going to write a whole bunch of random information, like hopefully not. The best way to create a course is to take your clients or your students through a step-by-step process. Step 1, they need to see what their eating habits are, and they need to see where their weight is right now, and what's in their pantry or their fridge, right? The next step is they have to make a plan. I'm making this up. Sorry, I don't know much about weight loss coaching, but you're going to take them from the step where they are and move them and take them on a journey to get them to the transformation of losing that 10 pounds in 3 weeks, right? So you need to make sure that you are doing it in some kind of a step-by-step process. And many times, we have a hard time saying, what is our process? I know I've done this before. If you've written a book and you're like, this is all my book, or I have written a story about what I've done, but sometimes we can't see our own process. So it's nice to have somebody to help walk you through what that teaching process is. What do you take your clients through and how does that work? And once you know your teaching process and your steps, it's a lot easier to come up with the content. So after you discover your teaching process and your steps that you're taking your clients through, the next thing is creating the outline. So this becomes the structure or the foundation of your course. So making an outline, think back to when you were back in school and you had to write an outline for a paper, basically step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, whatever it is. And then under each step, there may be like 3 to 4 bullet points of things that you are going to teach around that topic. We don't want 12 steps in one module. That's probably too much. But we want to keep it so that you are keeping them engaged and having them move through the content without being too overwhelmed. So as far as actually digging in and writing the content, creating the modules, there's 2 ways you can do this. One is sitting down and writing out all of the steps, like basically writing out the, if you have PDF you're going to follow, or like doing the videos or recording the audios. Some people write out every word they're going to say, and then other people just have a really good outline that they follow. So it's up to you how you want to do that, and then creating the course that way. I don't recommend that as much because I like to do what I call a beta live test, where I have live subjects who are coming to take my course, and I have a very detailed outline I use, but I don't map everything out word for word, and I don't pre-record or create slides or really do anything until I have people in my test group and that I know people are interested in my topic, they're willing to pay money to do it, and they're showing up. Then I record it live. So if I have 4 steps, I record it live over 4 weeks. That could be done different ways, but basically you're getting feedback from these people who are in the group at the time so that you know if you're right on with your steps. So especially if you're in this, I haven't done this very much. I have never taught this in this way, and you're not really sure, how it's all going to flow. I highly recommend doing the beta launch test. That way you've got feedback coming, and if they're like, I'm not really getting this, you can help and add another video or give them another exercise or something to help move them forward and get that direct feedback. I find every time I've done this and every time my clients have done it, they have switched up some things, tweaked some things, added something else, maybe split up a module or changed something. So the last thing you want to do is spend a whole bunch of time and money and energy creating this entire course, and you're not really even sure if that's how the people are going to flow through your teaching process. So unless you've been teaching this in a one-to-many group, like if you've been doing workshops or you've taught this for years and this is your process and this is how it goes and you have every piece in there, I highly recommend doing the beta launch test because that will give you the feedback and the confidence. Then you can take it and make up little tweaks and then polish it up and then launch it out in a big way, knowing that you've had success, you have testimonials, people have paid for it, and you've gone through it once, so you see exactly what maybe was missing or what needed to be added or tweaked. So, that's a long story basically to kind of tell you how to create your modules, but it's not just like, let's sit down and map off 20 minutes a day to write out our modules. I don't recommend doing it that way. I don't want you to create a course in a vacuum where you're just sitting there thinking, what should I put in it next? I want you to make sure you're creating a course that's profitable and that people want. And the best way to do that is to get feedback the whole entire way, especially your first go around, for validating your course idea, your outcome, your students, and then running the best beta test so that you get the feedback and that people will tell you exactly what they need. And you're like, yeah, that's a great idea, because we're so much farther down the road and it's hard to think back to where we were, where your people are. And sometimes we forget and take for granted that they'll already know that that's what they need and they don't even understand what you're talking about. So take a little extra time up front to create the course, but basically I can teach the whole thing in 6 to 8 weeks. So it doesn't necessarily have to take 3 months to create a course. You can whip it up pretty fast and start enrolling people. If you want more information or want to get my step-by-step instructions on how to do this, look in the links below and I'll go ahead and give you the link to my free webinar that walks through my 6 steps on how to create a course, and I go into a lot more detail. So, all right, also feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm building people up over here and releasing weekly tips and ideas and help on creating your profitable online course. Until next time, bye-bye.